Good afternoon, everyone. I have a few opening comments to start with. As I'm sure you all are aware, NATO just in the last hour released the communique from the Vilnius summit. I want to emphasize a few points that are contained in it. First, the alliance has made clear that Ukraine will become a member of NATO. Over the past several years, Ukraine has become increasingly interoperable and politically integrated with the alliance and has made substantial progress on its reform path. There are still conditions that Ukraine needs to fulfill, but it has made great progress, and alliance members will continue to support Ukraine's progress on remaining reforms. The alliance will be in a position to extend an invitation to Ukraine to join NATO when the alliance and allies agree that conditions are met. Second, the security of Ukraine continues to be of great importance to the alliance, and member states have agreed to a substantial package of expanded political and practical support. We have established the NATO-Ukraine Council, a new joint body where NATO members and Ukraine sit as equal members to advance political dialogue, engagement, cooperation, and Ukraine's aspirations for membership in NATO. On the security side, you have already seen new announcements from member states, and we will continue to provide additional lethal assistance to Ukraine. But in addition to the short-term assistance that we have been providing, NATO members have agreed to further develop the comprehensive assistance package into a multi-year program. That assistance will help rebuild the Ukrainian security and defense sector and transition Ukraine towards full interoperability with NATO. This assistance will help meet not just Ukraine's short-term needs as it fights to repel the Russian forces that have invaded its territory, but also its long-term security requirements.
What you said is exactly the same thing as what was said, 17? My math is bad.
As the president made clear, there is an important reason why they are not becoming a member of NATO right now, because it would instantly put the United States in a shooting war with Russia.
The idea that, and you've seen President Zelensky, he was not happy about this morning. You've seen his comments, but the idea that NATO is giving some gift to Ukraine here, I don't get.
But I think the other point that I don't want to be lost is that the question around NATO membership itself is not the only important thing coming out of this summit. Can never lose sight, this is what I started to say a minute ago, that they are in a war with Russia, and we continue to provide them the security assistance they need to help them win that war. That is job number one, more important than anything else. Job number two is to provide them with the long-term security assistance so they can rebuild their defense sector to provide a long-term deterrent effect. And then as part of that, we are going to continue discussions with them about meeting the reforms that we believe they need to accept. Not just we, the United States, but all NATO members believe they need to make to become a full member. One of the things Russia said before this war began is that they were firmly opposed to Ukraine joining NATO, and they wanted an ironclad commitment that Ukraine would never join NATO, and we made clear that was not on the table, that we maintained NATO's open door policy. We reiterate that commitment today, and we made clear today that Ukraine will become a member of NATO.
This is the Popolopan Bridge, Popolopan 9W. The bridge is unsafe. There's what's called a sleeper slab here. This old 9W was concrete at one time, so they paved over the concrete, but there's a slab here that goes from that crack to that joint, and it's all eroded underneath it. The dirt is falling as we speak. It's been doing it all day. The asphalt buckled and fell in. Washed the road out, came right down here on our on-ramp, went over the quarter, eroded all the dirt, took all the dirt, the big boulders, and it all just went into the river. The water was so intense, we found tree branches out in the middle of the bridge, which was almost 150 feet away. And now we've got an emergency contract on our hands, and they want this bridge open next week, and it's not going to happen. It's all bedrock, and it's smooth and it's sloped, and the dirt got so wet it just fell down the mountain. And what they call a wing wall, it's a tapered wall to hold back the earth. And that is absolutely exposed, and we're not sure if we're going to save it. The state's working to try and figure out what we're going to do. They're coming up with a few plans. Of course, safety is our first concern. So that earthen bank, we got to take care of that first, and then we got to get down in there, and we're most likely going to drill into the bedrock, pour a bunch of concrete, and build what's called a gress wall, and it's like Lincoln logs or Legos, so to speak. And we can build that back up. All this material here will be removed, and then we can get the bridge straightened out and get that secured, and we're hoping 2 or 3 weeks.